Alright, so boom, let's get into it. I wanted to break down who I was and what this channel is all about, and just let you know a little bit about who I am before you just start following some random person. First, I want to tell you where I was born. I was born in Hawaii. I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Army. That's how I was lucky enough to be born in Hawaii. Spent not long there, bounced over to Louisiana. Louisiana is where I got all of my, I guess you can say, roots from. I love Louisiana. It's a part of who I am, a huge part of who I am. And some people don't even know that I'm really from Hawaii. They just think I'm from Louisiana. So then I bounced over to Texas after having a kid, but we're gonna get back into that. So I had a kid and I moved over to Texas. So I like to say that Hawaii born, Louisiana raised, and Texas paid. And I say that because out of all of the money that I made in life, Texas has been the biggest blessing when it comes to finances that I've encountered. And I say that because it started me on my journey, which is a part of the niche that I have. Let's get into the niches. So the first niche that I want to speak on is finances. So back in about 2016, I ran into this lady. I say ran into this lady, but let me tell you the real story. So I'm driving on the way home. I had worked overtime. I was tired as hell. I cannot lie. I passed this lady up on the side of the road. And I saw her and a kid was with her. I passed her up. I keep going. I'm like, yo, I'm tired as fuck. Like, let God or somebody else deal with it. I'm not doing it. So I drove by. Then I got to thinking, like, at the time I had a baby. He may have been a year old at the time, and maybe not. So I got to thinking, like, what if that was my kid on the side of the road? I'm driving, I'm like, man, I'm not turning around. So I'm driving and I'm like, damn, if I was away with the military, because I'm in the military also, if I was away with the military and it was my family on the side of the road, what would I want to happen? So I took the next exit, I pulled over, asked her if she needed anything, water or anything, and that's how I found out that she had just came from shopping. And her car had broken down. And she was blaming her husband and my husband this, my husband that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, in my mind, like, why is she blaming her husband? It's his fault that we have this car. Hold on. I grew up in Louisiana. It's your husband's fault that you have a car? There's so many people walking, riding bikes, or just not going anywhere because they don't have rides, or asking other people for rides. So I'm trying to ponder, like, it's her husband's fault. So then she said that he's listening to this crazy guy, Dave Ramsey. So I'm like, Dave Ramsey? Who the fuck is he? So I go a little deeper. I'm listening to the conversation. We called the tow truck. I'm waiting on the tow truck with her, just try to give her like a cushion. If somebody was to crash into us, they would hit my car first. So I'm like, okay, let me do it that way. She began to tell me about Dave Ramsey. He's a multi-millionaire, probably billionaire now, I don't even know. But she began to tell me about Dave Ramsey. I'm like, okay, who is Dave Ramsey? Tow truck driver come up, she asked him, do you know Dave Ramsey? He knew who Dave Ramsey was. So I'm like, okay, like, what the fuck am I missing out on? Like, how do I not know who Dave Ramsey is and all of these people know? So she said, I give you some homework, just go check them out and let me know if you like them or whatever. Fast forward, I had no way of letting this lady know if I even listened to or figured out who Dave Ramsey was. Needless to say, I didn't. At that time, I was into buying Michael Jordan shoes. I had a new vehicle every year, every other year. I just felt like that was the way to go. So I'm like, I'm not listening to a random lady. I grew up in Louisiana and central Louisiana, and if you know, you know. Like, we wear Jordans, we wear polos. That's how we rock. And we get a foreign car, foreign woman, whatever. I ain't had a foreign woman, but you know, it is what it is on their part. You know, I'm like, you know, I want the fancy car. I want the nice shoes. I'm supposed to have this. I got a good paying job now. So I didn't listen to Dave Ramsey. I didn't figure out who he was. Didn't Google him or anything. Like, he is who he is. It is what it is. So then she sent a card to my job. And this is what changed my life. She sent a card to my job. I still have the card at my job. I'll read it to you at a later time. But the card read along the lines of, hey, thank you for Atkins. He's a great individual. He stayed on the side of the road with us. And basically the same story that I just told you. And I was kind of blown away. And at the end of the card, it said, by the way, ask him if he listened to Dave Ramsey yet. So I'm like, okay, like this too much. Let me see who the fuck Dave Ramsey is. So I Googled Dave Ramsey, and I saw that he'd been bankrupt before, and I saw that he was a multi-millionaire, and like I said, probably billionaire now. So I'm like, okay, he might be, worth looking into. I got a little change, so I thought, and shit, let me see what he's talking about. So I tap into Dave Ramsey. I figure out that he has a podcast. I figure out that you can listen to the podcast while you driving, working, doing whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna give him a spin. I'm in my car majority of the day with work, so why not? So I give him a spin, and he's taking callers on the phone. I think one of the first callers that I heard was someone saying that they were me, basically. I drive this type of car. I spend a lot of money on clothes, shoes, trips, whatever. I eat out a lot. So I'm like, damn, that's me. So I'm like, okay, what is this? No offense, I'm not racist. What is this old white guy about to tell this person on the phone? Because the person sounded black. I don't know if they were black or not. I'm black. They sounded black. Go figure, it was the other me. But I'm like, what is this old white guy about to tell this mid-aged black person that's gonna change their life? Then he started telling them about the baby steps. So I'm like, okay, to save $1,000, I can do that. Think about my debt, like, okay, I have this truck debt, have a credit card. I'm not crazily in debt, but I have some debt. So I'm like, okay, well, let me get rid of my debt. Let me save $1,000. Let me get rid of my debt. And I did those things, and fast forward, I'm able to invest. I'm recording in my home right now. Like that's dope to me. I know some money gurus don't believe in buying a home, but I do. This is my 10th year in Texas, so why not? If I'm here, then I'm here. I'm not locked in. I did listen to Dave Ramsey on that part. I did do a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, so I do have some years left on that mortgage, but I feel like this is truly an investment. And I know some money gurus or some people are not going to agree with me, but to hell with you. For me, it works, and this is the life that I chose, and I love the life that I have. So Dave Ramsey put me on with the lady who I ran across. She put me on the track to financial freedom. I achieved financial freedom, and then I got injured. I got injured in the military on my last deployment, and I couldn't go back to work when I got back to the United States. So I was missing out on all of my overtime money. I did the math. I think it was about $20-something thousand that I missed out on. Needless to say, I had an emergency fund. I ran through that emergency fund. I say I ran through it. I spent about half, and I started using credit cards. I wasn't using credit cards, or if I was using them and paying them right off before the injury. But the injury caused me to do so. I always say I am exactly where I need to be. I am where I'm supposed to be. I needed that for whatever it was. I needed to get back to saving, budgeting, and doing whatever I needed to do. But here I am, and I'm back on track with that. My next niche we could talk about is the military. I am in the military, the Air Force. I've been in the Air Force since I graduated college in 2015, and it's been a great investment also. So if you're young and looking for something to do, you need some money, you need structure in your life, you need guidance, you need the ability to achieve whatever you might want to achieve, the Air Force or the military, any branch of the military, may not be a bad idea for you. Just think about it, before you do it. The next niche that I want to talk about is my life. So I'll be recording snippets and pieces of my life, and you'll have an insight of my life. Myself, my girlfriend, my 2 children, baby mama, whatever you want to dive into. Some of that's going to be on there on the life portion of my niche. The next part of my niche I want to talk about is stocks. I invest in stocks, I invest in property. So stocks, I'll be 100% honest. Purchasing stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, index funds help me get my home. I have a home that has a downstairs and upstairs. I didn't grow up in that, so I didn't know how that felt. But if you want to get it upstairs and downstairs, make sure you're a clean person or clean people, and make sure that you have a cleaner or something along those lines. I didn't know that until I got this home, and I'm grateful for my home, but I'm also grateful for my home, Keenan. So when we talk about stocks, I put in. First, I put in a little bit. I dove into margins. I don't recommend you diving into margins unless you like borrowing money, because when they ask for their money back, they want their money back, or you have to start selling your stocks. I have to call and let them know, hey, look, I had no idea what a margin was. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Is there any way that you can wait until I pay you back? Oh, we'll wait until this date. I said, okay, well, I'll start paying you back on this date. I didn't want to sell my stocks, and I'm glad that I didn't. So I ended up getting the margin. I think the margin was like 10K. So I'm buying buku stocks, not knowing anything in the market, but I'm doing good though. So I think I was doing good, honestly. But it wasn't as good as I thought I was doing. I'm like, damn, man, I made $10,000 in this fast and blah, blah, blah. But you need to read and see what exactly you're doing. So after I paid my margin loan back, my stocks doubled. It was right before COVID. My stocks doubled. So I was like, shit. So I ended up buying this home, what I'm in right now, what you're in with me, where we're recording it. And I didn't need a down payment because I used a VA loan, but I still took one out from my stocks just because I didn't want my payments to be crazy high, and I knew I was doing a 15-year fix. No regrets on that so far. My housing rate is a 2.25. Some say it's lucky. Some say it'll never be that low again. I don't know. I don't care, honestly. I hope it does for your sake if you're trying to buy a home. But like I said, I'm right where I need to be every time. And that shot's the guy. Like, I'm where I need to be, Me talking to you and you sitting here listening to me, or riding, listening to me, driving, walking, exercising, whatever you're doing, listening to me, you're right where you need to be. I'm right where I need to be. I believe in that. I talked about my family. If I didn't, that's another niche. You'll hear about me, my life. You'll hear about my girlfriend, her life. You'll hear about my oldest son and his life. You'll hear about my youngest son and his life. And like I said, you might hear about my baby mama or something. I don't know. It just depends on, what I got going on in life at the time. I don't mind sharing. I'm open book. My next niche is travel. I love, love, love traveling. We just not long ago got back from Africa. It was the dopest trip that I've ever been on. Another place that I've visited before and loved was Cabo. I've been to Germany. I've been to different parts of the continent of Asia. Just, the world is a beautiful place, and I want to visit as many places as I can. I really want to go to India, and I want to just dabble and learn like how these people are living versus how we're living in America. It's a beautiful thing and beautiful people. Hey, invite me to your place, invite me to your home. Like, let me see how you're living, especially if you're outside of the United States. I love traveling outside of the United States. The United States sometimes can get pretty much the same, and I don't like the same. I like different, My last niche that I'm going to talk about is basketball. I played basketball in a small town in Louisiana. We ended up winning state in basketball. That was like one of the greatest moments of basketball in my life at that time. I ended up getting scholarship offers that I did not accept because of my mama. She was like, if you go to New Orleans, that was one of the higher ones that I had been offered, was Tulane. If you go to New Orleans, it's the murder capital of the United States, and you're gonna get killed, and I can't help you. That hurt, I grew up after my mom and dad split, which is how I got to Louisiana. I grew up in a single parent household, so I didn't go to that college, and I kind of regret it. It was a Division I school. I ended up going to a Division II school, which later became Division III and NAIA. I don't even know what it is right now, but I ended up getting a partial scholarship when I had a full ride, and that's a crazy story in basketball, but I'll get to that at another time. that was a great moment in my life, basketball. And basketball has taken me a very long way. I played ball in college. I played ball for the All Air Force team. I got injured there, and that was pretty much when basketball started declining for me. I got to play against international teams. That's dope within itself. I know a lot of people that are mad decent on the court or field or whatever, and they never got to play against anybody other than the people in the United States. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for you for listening. Out.